All right, what is up, you beautiful people, and welcome to a bit of a different kind of video today. So, I think I just wanted to do this video realistically just for myself, but I feel like some of these insights would be helpful to share, just like some classic beginner hiking mistakes, hiking backpacking mistakes. So, the place I went to is called Queen Elizabeth II Wildlands Provincial Park. It's located in Ontario. Yes, I'm Canadian, for all of you who don't know already. So yeah, the very crude map of our route looks like this. It's very zoomed out. It's approximately, I think, 45 kilometers or 50 kilometers. This is a very telling sign that I was not prepared for this, because I'm not actually sure how far our total distance is. But this is like the path we were attempting to take. We got stuck right around here. I don't even know if you guys can see that laser pointer, but we got stuck right around there because there was like a little swamp area that we could not cross. So here is the game plan, or the postmortem, basically. So the best way I can describe it is that this might be a little bit of a too soon, tongue-in-cheek kind of metaphor, but I'm gonna go with it anyways. I felt like the Russian army about to execute a precision surgical strike on a opposing capital, and instead, because of the fact that I was all bling and no basics, I got bogged down by a bunch of swamps, fell on a rock, and got stuck. And now, I barely made it back in one piece. I feel like that is actually a really good analogy. Might not be the best one for the current situation. But anyways, here's the postmortem for all the things. And yeah, let's just go into it. So number one is know your trail. I didn't actually scout out this trail before we went. I just sort of assumed it was like some sort of generic trail that I would be hiking that would probably have pretty easy-ish terrain, like, you know, your forest floor kind of terrain with like leaves and mud, maybe some pine needles, you know, your rock here and there. And I thought the trail was gonna be well maintained, and you know, I sort of thought, you know, we can go like 40 kilometers in that, right? But what I didn't realize was that what I thought the trail was gonna look like, aka the top left, or maybe like middle left, the trail actually looked closer to top right, middle right, and bottom right. This is what the trail ended up looking like. Lots of rocks that had to go up, then down. We'd reach swampy sections that would frequently look like this, and the only things we'd have to step on were like logs, all right? Thankfully, I made the right choice in footwear, but these rocks were killer because of my knee injury, because I just couldn't climb properly. So, terrible thing. Always know what type of terrain you're walking on. Because you know what would have made this one even worse? If it was terrain that looked like bottom left. That would have been a nightmare. Like rocks like this, so that everything you step on is just sharp, pointy daggers right into your shoe. That is the ultimate nightmare. I have been on a trail like that before. Let me tell you, I remember it because it was painful. Anyways, let's go to the next one. Dead weight. So, you can see here on the left, all the bling that I brought. No basics, boys. I actually brought a friggin' laser pointer. I brought a laser pointer. Why? Because I wanted to see how bright it would be out in the wilds where there's no light pollution. It was very bright. Great. But now I have to lug it back all the way. Anyways, yeah. Before we started, like, one of my buddies, other buddy who was super experienced at backpacking, he was just talking about like, oh, you know, I didn't pack that because it's dead weight. I didn't pack that because it's dead weight. I didn't pack that because it's dead weight. And I was like, we were just kind of joking. I was like, oh yeah, you didn't pack this because it's the dead weight, bro. And like, man, let me tell you, when I was struggling for those like 10 kilometer, 15, 20 kilometers of walking on that, on my broken, well, not broken ass, but like my injured knee with my 50-pound pack, that's like 22 kilos. Yeah, I was like, damn, bro. They call it dead weight because it kill you, man. That stuff will kill you. Yeah, so I was debating like just dropping some of this crap. Like I bought this whole thing This whole thing probably weighs like 5 pounds altogether. 5 pounds. It's a lot. I say I upgraded, but I downgraded in terms of weight my mess kit into something that looked kind of like this. Huge mistake, because this thing probably weighs like 1.5 pounds. I had one of these tools here, which by itself probably weighed half a pound. I brought an axe, not something like this. It was like a Fiskars brand axe, but still, that I don't actually need that. You don't need an axe for chopping stuff. You probably would be better off with the saw. And that axe was probably like 2 pounds. This laser pointer was just extra weight. And then I brought these like little lanterns because I was like, oh, you know, they'll be cool and helpful, add some extra light. They were fine, but I think they're better suited if you have a vehicle with you. And if you must have them, I probably would have only needed to bring one. They were light, but like, you know, didn't help that they added the extra weight. So yeah, like equipment is a commitment is what I was thinking like the whole time I was walking, you know, like you got to take it back with you, you know. I wanted to leave some of this stuff behind because I was like, god damn, it's so heavy. I should just leave it behind. But you know, I made it all back. I made it back with everything in the bag. You know, I'm proud of that, you know. And I finally understand why, like, you know, when soldiers flee in a route, they just drop all their gear and run, because like gear slows you down so much. Yeah. Yeah, I think like now a way that I think about equipment is like it's like a serious partner, basically. If you're not gonna marry him, don't bring him with you, basically. It's, I don't know, that's sort of like the thing I developed as I was walking through the trail. So yeah, pack what you need, don't pack any bling. And I think one thing I gotta tell myself is I always gotta pack lighter, because I have a tendency to pack heavier than I should. Another thing is to know your gear. I don't have this brand of life straw. I have like a slightly older one, but I have literally never used it before. And when I did try to use it, I realized that it filtered at a very, very slow rate, and it was terrible. It was horrendous. Good thing my buddies had a filter, but basically all I knew was that like the life straw was gonna, like, if that was the only filter we had, we'd all be boned. Second thing is, I think it wasn't really a good filter because I ended up with some sort of weird stomach bug, which I still have to get checked out from the doctor. I'll probably need like a good week or two's dose of like antibiotics to clear it out. So that's that. You gotta know your gear. If you've never used the gear before and the first time you're using it is in the field, that's bad. That's very bad. So you know what? Sometimes you gotta learn the lessons the hard way. Just the basics. So I think all these things here I would definitely bring again for next time, because these are I think like important things that I gotta have. I have a knife that kind of looks like this. I don't have the one with the teeth because the teeth is just a sharpening nightmare, but it does have like this little hatchback thing here like that, this little ridge. I know that this ridge actually makes batoning your wood like a nightmare. So that's one downside of this knife. But you know what? That's why I bring a little folding saw. My saw pack has these extra 2 blades in them. Like they still have them in there. I gotta take them out before I go for the next backpacking trip because that's extra weight. That's dead weight. They don't saw any wood. Only this blade here that saws wood. Bear spray, you gotta have it, because if you don't have a bear spray, then like you're just sitting duck if there's a bear. The deep wood's off. Very, very good. Highly recommend. Actually keeps all those mosquitoes off of you. Like, it's crazy out there. You sit down in one place and like you get swarmed like a carrier swarms a bunch of, I don't know, zerglings or something. And here you gotta have some sort of fire source. I brought like too many sources of fire. I brought matches, I brought a lighter, I brought a ferro rod. I probably only needed a matchbox and a lighter. I could have left all the other extra versions at like back home. I only brought that many because I was paranoid. I was like, what if one of them fails? What if one of them fails? But the whole point is, you know, you don't want to get in a situation like that in the first place. And obviously you got to have your shelter. So I have a tent. You got to have your sleeping bag so you don't freeze to death in like the AM hours. So these are things that I definitely would bring with me. Probably I could optimize for weight, but you know, we'll look at that in the future. Proper first aid. Yeah, just, you know what? A bunch of bandages doesn't get you very far when your knee is injured in some way that you're not quite sure of at the moment. I would have killed to have some sort of like orthopedic gauze. I think this is what it's called. I searched it up, orthopedic gauze, that I could have used as like some sort of support just to wrap my knee in that moment to at least make it a little bit easier and, you know, maybe cause less damage to it. Thank goodness that none of the tendons or anything got like pushed out of the way or ruptured. Like it was just like, you know, a strong hit on my kneecap and that's it. Like my knee hit in the strongest like way possible, sort of in its bent form. Like if you're elbowing someone, that's how my knee like hit the rock essentially. So it wasn't hitting the rock in a weak form, but still. Definitely need some alcohol wipes because I think the knee wound actually got a little infected. I saw some pus on it the other day, and when I was changing the bandage, it was kind of green fluid came out and soaked into the band-aid. But thank goodness my immune system is strong and I'm still young, so it looks like it's taking care of that infection there, so it's not too bad. And you also got to have calorie density, because what I realized is you want to have your concentrated calories in as little space as possible, because sorry, a little interruption there. Sorry. So what I realized with calorie density is you want to have your calories that take up as little space as possible, ideally weigh as little as possible, because you're going to be burning a ton of calories. This is not a time to cheap out on calories. You can just go whole hog and just gobble those calories because you're going to need it. Like everything you do uses calories when you're out in the wild. Like when you're in the city, bro, almost nothing uses calories. You can just you just end up sitting around all day. You have to go somewhere. You get into a metal box on wheels and it like moves you somewhere. Like, damn, out there, you gotta use your legs, bro. You gotta put in work. So calories in as lightweight of a format and as dense of a format as possible. In a format that you like to eat as well, because if you don't like to eat it, then like don't bring it, right? Otherwise, you could just like pack 2 liters of olive oil and just drink it. Don't do that. You'll hate yourself for it. But yeah, I think I'll definitely try some like pre-made meal kits, not the MREs, because I don't know. I don't think MREs are exactly the most tasty thing, but there are some like camp foods that are pre-prepared that you can just like, you know, boil some water and just pour in. I really like that idea because boiling water sterilizes it as well. Which I clearly needed to do, and then you just toss it into the bag, and afterwards you can, I think the bag is like burnable or something, so you don't even have to carry the trash out. So very lightweight, high density calories, stores well, cooks easy. One thing I learned that didn't cook easy, the lentils and the quinoa did not cook easy. Like that short video you guys saw of the lentils and the quinoa, they were still kind of crunchy. You know, those are not the kind of foods you want to have crunchy. So yeah. Also, that stuff uses so much water, and you need like a big pot and a pan. It's better for like a car camping thing. So yeah, forget eating healthy. Just pig out on some good old calories. Your body can burn through it all. And you know, last but not least, we have some great suggestions. We got some from Inflames. So I think Inflames must have a good deal of experience because his suggestion here tells us that it's important to, you know, basically try on your pack for 2 hours a day, 2 to 4 weeks, and then at least 5 days a week before we actually go for it, which just makes sense. You know, you get conditioned to your packs or you get accustomed to it, and nothing like 16 to 18 kilos. Mine was definitely over that, so nothing heavier than that. Like 35 to 40 pounds is already quite heavy. I think my buddy's buddy who's super experienced, his pack was like closer to 35, I think. Actually, no, he might have been even lighter than that. Like it was like 30 or something. So yeah, like my buddy's buddy just, it was like a super easy hike for him. He was just like, man, bro, I feel kind of cheated, bro. I wanted to go the whole distance. And then I'm like out here fighting for my life. So yeah, 2 sets of clothes, 1 for walking, 2nd for sleeping and drying, changing tonight. So yeah, I think even the clothes, my buddy's buddy would be like, don't even pack that. He's like, it's dead weight. And you know what? I kind of agree with him. My uncle actually suggested that I should just get something that's made of wool that I can wear if I really need to stay warm, because wool doesn't lose heat when it's wet, which sounds great. And then for cooking, I looked at what a trangia is. It's like a little dish thingy that you put like, I think methylated spirit. I don't actually know what the methylated spirits are. It's like a little. I think it's also a little gaseous. Sorry, it's a little gassy from the random bacteria I picked up. It's a little gaseous thingy that you can also set on fire. But I do, my buddy's buddy also had this jet burner camping can that was really tiny. It was like, imagine your can of salmon or your can of tuna. That's how big like the gas canister was, and it just opened up to like this little receptacle that you could put a little pot or a coffee cup over. So yeah, couscous is a pretty good camp food. Actually, I don't actually know. I've never cooked couscous before, but if it cooks quick, then that'll be a great thing. So yeah, I guess I'll try it out as like a normal food first, and then we'll see. Anyways, some key takeaways for myself and I guess for everybody else. Nature will beat your ass. Like, make no mistake. It was hard out there, all right? I cannot tell you how much I appreciate the city now more than I have ever appreciated the city. Like, I was sitting out there and I was like, damn, bro, everything out here is a struggle, man. I'm out here fighting for my life. And, you know, humans are fragile, all right? Like, you think about it, most animals can just, like, backhand us and we'll die. Or, like, they'll bite us and we'll die. Like humans are, I don't know how we manage to be the top species on this planet, but our jank-ass builds somehow made it, all right? But, you know, we kind of let that get to our heads sometimes, but once you go out into nature, you know, that stuff humbles you, like, a lot. Like, a rock almost took me out, boys. A rock. An inanimate object. Imagine a bear, bro. A bear is literally this animal that weighs as much as your car, but it moves on its own, and it can throw hands, and I'll also eat you. So, yeah. Preparation is key to success. I did not prepare well for this trip. I sort of just thought it was going to be a cakewalk. Well, it was the opposite of a cakewalk. You know what? I went into this trip saying, you know what? I want to learn some stuff. I want to experience some stuff. And you know what? I jumped into the deep end of lessons. And you know what? That's what makes it memorable. You know, sometimes you got to learn the hard way. And one thing I realized is resilience and willpower is the currency of the wilds. Like, if you need to get the hell out of somewhere, or just like survive in the wild, you got to be resilient and you got to have willpower. Like, the roller coaster of everything that I went through in that like last 20 kilometers was a lot, boys. I don't know. All I knew was that if you guys have ever read David Goggins' Don't Hurt Me, where he was like, yo, man, I ran that ultra marathon and I pushed through that pain like every time, like, you know, the new level, the next level, you know, and I was like, damn, bro, I read about it. But now that I low-key kind of experienced something like it, I can understand that experience. Because I'm going to tell you, after I was walking for a while and I was pumped and my like knee was swollen enough, I could kind of use it almost like I would regularly, and it wouldn't hurt as bad. I just couldn't bend it like I would, you know, normally bend your knee if you were to take a basic step. But I could still have a bit more leniency in terms of putting weight on it. So it stopped like really being too big of an impediment until I had to go up and down like rocks and hills and shit. And also another thing was that it's like, at first I was telling myself, I don't know, what was I telling myself? I was telling myself that like pain isn't real, or this isn't real. Pain isn't real. This isn't real. And like, I think I reached a point where I was so tired. I was like, fatigue isn't real. Fatigue isn't real. Tiredness isn't real. And I'll tell myself like, you know, last downhill, last uphill, last downhill, last uphill. And you know what? Like, I know it's BS because there's going to be another freaking hill up ahead, but I got to tell myself that so that I can keep pushing myself forward. You know, when you're in that kind of situation, it's not about looking at like, damn, bro, I still got 7 kilometers to go to the exit. Bro, I'm going to just sit down here and like die, bro. No, you got to be like 1 foot forward, 1 foot forward, because you know what? Nobody's getting you out of there. Ain't nobody gonna rescue you. You know what? Maybe someone would have come and rescued me. I don't know, man. I probably could have called for like park rangers, but like, I don't want to bet on that, bro. All right, like, ain't nobody gonna save you but yourself. And I think that was definitely like, I mean, I fucking saved myself. I got out of there, right? But barely. Like, I think another thing I told myself was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. I gotta get the fuck out of here. Man, I was cursing at the terrain too. I was like, fuck this rock, bro. Fuck this rock. Like, I hate this fucking terrain. You know, like I just switched through different types of phrases just to push me forward. And it worked. It worked for what it did. So that's that, boys. Like, I don't know. It's like when you think you've hit like a limit on how much you can draw from like your well of willpower and resilience, if you have the goal of trying to get out of there, like make it out of there, or achieve some sort of objective, there's always a deeper level to go to pull more strength from. That's what I've learned from this. I mean, that's something I think you have to learn by going through yourself. I'm glad that I went through this 100%. I wouldn't trade it for nothing. Like, would I have this happen to me again, like knowingly? Probably. I'd probably go for it again. I say this right now because I'm comfortable, but you know, that exhilaration of having gone through that and like conquered myself essentially, nothing can match that. So yeah, boys. Anyways, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed my postmortem and my key takeaways on what I would say is logistically and preparationally and everythingly a disaster of a hike, but educationally this hike was a great success. And I want to share the fruits of my education with you guys. I know it's not like this is like totally different from one of my normal regular videos, but it is what it is. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like. And I will see you guys next time.
The tires! Let's light some fires!
Need a light.
They picked the wrong fight.